I just want to do a quick January TBR, or as quick as I can, because my list is rather extensive this time. I feel like it is, but then again, a lot of the books are thin, so it gets kind of deceptive with the amount that I'll actually plan to read. The first book I plan to read this month is Eva by Peter Dickinson. I've seen this recommended several times by different people and around BookTube, and it just sounded really interesting to me. It's been on my TBR for quite some time. And so I found this at the library, got really excited, picked it up, and now I finally get to read it. It's about a girl, and it's sometime in the future. And what happens is she gets into a really bad accident, and her body is destroyed. But because technology has advanced to a certain point, they decide to try this new thing and try and save her. So they put her brain, or transfer her consciousness, into a chimp's body. So she wakes up, and it's her inside, but she's a chimp. So again, I just thought that sounded really interesting, and so I finally get to read this month, and it's definitely getting read. The next book is Redwall by Brian Jacques. Again, I'm sorry guys. Again, I didn't look up the pronunciation of the name. I read these in middle school, maybe 14, 15, maybe 13 years old. I don't remember exactly. I actually read the whole series, and there's quite a lot of these. So I'm just really excited to read these again and see if they're as good as I remember them being. It's about things like mice and rats and hares and stoats, and there are these good animals and bad animals, and they live sort of human-like lives. They wear clothes, and they have sword fights and ride ships and things like that. And they kind of have their own folk tales and folk heroes. It's just adventure and things like that. So yeah, definitely plan on reading this month if I can get to it. And just re-entering that world of Redwall and see if it's as good as I remember. I think it will be, but we'll find out. The next book is The Lost Art of Reading Nature's Signs by Tristan Gooley. And on the front here it says, use outdoor clues to find your way, predict the weather, locate water, track animals, and other forgotten skills. I had to pick this up. This is the kind of thing I'm really interested in. And so this is just supposed to be a guide to really help you see and zero in on all the little things around you that you don't usually pay attention to, and then extract even more information from one or two clues, and just really just open your mind to what's going on around you in more ways than you could even imagine. So this is just something that really piques my interest, and sort of, I think it'll be kind of like an adult nature study on steroids or something. I don't know. But I think it'll be good. I'm excited to read this and just learn more from it. The next book follows a similar theme. It's Wild Sex by Dr. Karen Bonder, and it says the science behind mating in the animal kingdom. Again, these are just the kind of things that interest me, and this book sounded really interesting. Of course, it has a beautiful cover with wild sex printed very large on the front to catch your attention. So of course it got my attention. And it's just supposed to be about how we as humans have a really easy and almost boring time finding a mate. And, you know, really it's very easy for us, but when you get to looking around at all the different animals and things and how much harder and extensively they have to look around for a partner and have the next generation of whatever their species is, it's supposed to be a lot harder than we think it is, I suppose. So I'm excited to read this and just learn more about wild sex. The next one is The Wonderful Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum. I picked this up from the library. It's going to be a read aloud for me and my girls. I've watched the film many times. They've watched it maybe once. I don't know. I just want to take the opportunity to read this to them, maybe before they start watching the movie over and over as I did growing up. I want to see how it's different than the movie. I have a feeling it will be. We've already started it, and it already is, to a point, very different from the movie. So we'll see if it's as good as the movie. All right, the next one is called The Woman in the Moon by James Riordan, and this is also going to be a read aloud. I saw this at the library and it intrigued me, so I pulled it out and sort of thumbed through it, and I thought this would make a really good read aloud for me and my girls. It's supposed to be just a collection of tales and stories about women, heroines, and sort of different than Cinderella and Snow White and those things. These are women that apparently are their own heroes and do their own thing, and it all isn't centered around the damsel in distress or the damsel in trouble and you need to listen to your mother and father and marry the handsome prince or the man that rescues you. So I'm excited to read these and sort of expose myself and my girls to something other than the Disney princess damsel in distress story. The last book is City of Thieves by David Benioff. Sorry that I'm butchering these names. I got this for my husband for Christmas, but I read the first chapter actually last night, and so I had to add it to my TBR because I'm already very intrigued and I can tell that it's going to be good. I've also seen really good reviews on BookTube and online about this book, so I have a feeling I'll like it. It's set in World War II during the siege of Leningrad, and it's these two men, Lev and Kolya, have been tasked with finding a dozen eggs in the city, which is apparently much harder than it seems because everybody's pretty much starving in the city right now. And so to come across a dozen eggs would be like finding a pot of gold. I'm going to try and read it in between my husband reading it, just sort of sneak it away from him when he puts it down, and we'll see who finishes it first. So yeah, that's my January TBR. What are you reading this month? Please do tell me below. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.